It usually hits you in silence. Maybe you're up late, lying on your back in a half-lit room, phone in hand, scrolling through lives that seem far more put together than yours. Or you're staring at your bank app, realizing you're not as grown as you hoped you'd be by now. There's no dramatic breakdown, no tears, just a quiet, cold question creeping in. Is this it? Nobody really prepares you for this decade. Your 20s are pitched as a time of freedom, self-discovery, and building dreams. But what they don't tell you is that they're also filled with uncertainty, bad decisions, unpaid bills, sudden heartbreaks, and a deep, aching pressure to figure it all out before you hit 30. But I'll be real with you, your 20s don't have to be perfect. You just need tools that help you stay steady when everything feels unpredictable. And that starts with the habits you build today. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I've learned to survive the changes that come with this messy, complicated decade, and how you can navigate yours without burning out or losing yourself in the process. Let's get into it. Section 1. Stop waiting for motivation. Let's cut through one of the biggest myths right away. The idea that you need to feel ready before you take action. Too many people spend their 20s stuck in place, not because they're lazy or unambitious, but because they're waiting to feel inspired. They wait for clarity, for energy, for motivation. They wait for the mood to hit before going to the gym. Wait for the perfect morning to start a project. Wait to feel confident before applying for that opportunity. But guess what? Most of those days never come. Motivation is unreliable. It's a nice bonus when it shows up, but it's a terrible plan to build your life around. James Clear said it best in Atomic Habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. In other words, it's not about how much you want something. It's about whether your life is set up to make that thing easy to do even when you don't feel like it. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't ask yourself every day, do I feel like brushing tonight? You just do it. It's routine. That's where the power is. If you want to grow in your 20s, you need to start thinking less about motivation and more about how to design your day so that good choices become automatic. It could be as simple as laying out your workout clothes the night before, or writing your to-do list before you sleep, or keeping your water bottle in your line of sight. These things don't require motivation. They just require a system. That's how you stop waiting for the perfect day to start. You set up your life so that starting doesn't feel like a mountain every time. Section 2. Identity over ambition. One of the most confusing things about your 20s is figuring out who you are. Not in a poetic way, but in real terms. Are you someone who's good with money? Are you the kind of person who follows through? Can you actually trust yourself to do what you say you'll do? You're not just making decisions during this decade. You're shaping your identity with every choice. This is where most people go wrong. They set big goals, which sounds productive on the surface. But goals alone don't build character. They don't keep you steady when things go sideways. What does? Systems. And even deeper than that, identity. Instead of saying, I want to save more, start with, I'm someone who takes care of my finances. Instead of, I want to write a book, try, I'm the kind of person who writes every day. James Clear explains that every action you take is a vote for the person you believe yourself to be. And votes stack. So when you cook instead of eating out, when you put $5 into savings, when you journal for 10 minutes, you're not just completing a task, you're becoming someone. Section 3. Small habits, big shifts. Here's something people often overlook. The habits that change your life never look life-changing at first. Let's borrow a simple example from Atomic Habits. Imagine a plane taking off from Los Angeles and heading to New York. If the pilot adjusts the course by just 3.5 degrees, the shift is barely noticeable in the air. But over time, that small angle lands the plane in Washington, D.C. instead of New York. That's what small habits do. They seem minor today, but change your entire direction over time. The same principle applies to your 20s. Reading 5 pages a day feels like nothing. Going for a 15-minute walk seems like a waste. Putting aside $2,000 a week won't impress anyone. But do it every day, and you're not just forming a habit. You're changing your trajectory. The best part? You don't have to be extreme, you just have to be consistent. Small habits are easy to start and even easier to repeat. That's why they're powerful. Section 4. Understanding the habit loop. If you've ever found yourself picking up your phone, opening Instagram, and then wondering 10 minutes later how you even got there, you've been caught in what's called a habit loop. And most of us live our entire lives inside it without even knowing. Here's how it works. Every habit, good or bad, follows the same pattern: cue, craving, response, reward. Let's break that down. Cue is what triggers the habit. Maybe it's the sound of a notification, or just boredom creeping in while you're alone. Craving is the feeling you want to satisfy, like wanting connection, distraction, or even just entertainment. Response is the action you take, scrolling, snapping at someone. And reward is what you get out of it: a little dopamine rush, a moment of relief, a sense of control. Now, here's why this matters. If you want to build better habits in your 20s, you have to stop trying to fight the whole loop and instead work with it. For example, want to start journaling? Place your notebook on your pillow every morning. That's your cue. Light a candle or play music you love while you write. That's the reward. Make the craving something you actually look forward to. Keep the whole thing simple enough that it's never a burden. Whether you're trying to drink more water, build a reading habit, or quit doom scrolling, the pattern is the same. Understand the loop, then adjust the pieces. That's how real change starts, not by forcing yourself, but by setting yourself up. Section 5. Fix your environment before it fixes you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into your room and suddenly felt tired? Or sat on your bed to rest for 5 minutes and ended up there for hours? That's not laziness. That's your environment working against you. Most people don't realize this, but your surroundings are constantly shaping your behavior. You don't need motivation to eat snacks when the chips are the first thing you see in the kitchen. You don't need discipline to waste hours on Netflix when your laptop is always open to the homepage. But here's the good news. You can flip that. You can make your environment work for you. If you want to exercise more, leave your workout clothes where you'll see them first thing in the morning. If you want to read more, put the book on your pillow so it's the last thing you touch before bed. Want to stop checking your phone first thing in the morning? Charge it in another room. Better yet, get a real alarm clock. This might sound small, maybe even silly, but it works because it removes friction. When the right choice becomes the easiest choice, you stop relying on willpower. You just flow into it. Section 6. Not every feeling needs a prescription. Your 20s can feel like a storm of emotions. Some days you're motivated and hopeful. Other days you're anxious, sad, or just completely stuck. And the truth is, a lot of people hit their emotional breaking point during this decade. Sometimes what you're feeling isn't a disorder. Sometimes it's just life being messy and hard. You're not broken. You're in the middle of becoming someone new. You're learning how to deal with pressure, how to deal with rejection, how to sit in discomfort without reaching for an escape. That's not dysfunction, that's growth. So before you label every feeling as a red flag, ask yourself this: have I built any structure in my life yet? Do I eat well? Do I move my body? Do I talk to anyone about what I'm going through? Am I giving myself any wins, no matter how small? Because if you don't have habits in place to support your mind, then of course everything will feel heavier than it should. Your habits aren't just for productivity. They are also how you protect your mental health day by day. Section 7. Stop planning, start exploring. You've probably been told to have a 5-year plan, maybe even a 10-year plan. But here's the truth. Most people don't follow their plan. Life doesn't care about your bullet points and neatly organized timelines. In your 20s, what you need more than a plan is room to explore. This is the decade for trying things out, taking jobs that might not make sense on paper, learning skills that may not fit your major, saying yes to things just because they pull at your curiosity. That's not a waste of time. That's how you discover what you're actually built for. The problem comes when people are too afraid to experiment. They want guarantees before they move. But growth doesn't come with guarantees. It comes with experiences. And experiences only come when you stop waiting and start doing. Section 8. Social habits that matter. Let's talk about relationships for a minute. Specifically, the friendships and connections that will either push you forward or hold you back in your 20s. You might think you're too busy or too independent for people, but the truth is, these are the years where your social circle will define your future more than you realize. The people you spend time with are either helping you level up or they're draining you. There's no in between. You need people who challenge you to be better, but also those who will just show up when you need them. And here's the secret. Social habits work like all the other habits. They need consistency. Build the habit of checking in on people regularly, of planning things in advance so you can actually show up. Make it a routine. And if you want strong, lasting relationships, you've got to put in the work, even when it's inconvenient. Section 9. The capstone. All right, here's the thing about surviving your 20s. You're not going to get it perfect, and you're not supposed to. You will mess up. You'll miss opportunities. You'll feel overwhelmed and out of control sometimes. But that doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're learning. This decade isn't about instant results, and it isn't about perfection. It's about setting up the habits, the systems, the routines that will carry you through the chaos and give you something to stand on. So pick one habit that's going to help you become the person you want to be. Start today. Let it compound. In a year, you'll be thankful you did. And remember, it's your 20s. No BS. Build the systems now and let them work for you later.